Welcome traders to the Prop Shield channel. So in this video, this is our first one of our build series, uh, showing just a little bit more details. And this one is going over our score engine. And so we just did a market replay video. And so now we're going more into our score engines about what it looks. It's an indicator added to the chart, and it syncs up with our trade panel. And so the one that's just only on this chart is the Simple Market Metrics one, but I've added these other ones just so we can look on the inside of them, so you can see the differences, how they're designed specifically for the trade setup. So again, minimum, score of 70. You can change it to whatever you want. We have a session filter, so you don't have to use that, or you can just change the time of day. We have our VWAP start at market open. It's included in this, even though you don't see a VWAP on the chart. Minimum bars before scoring. So in a sense, that'd be like an hour, because 30 bars, 2-minute chart. And that's also what this has been designed with, is a 2-minute chart. So for the NASDAQ 2-minute chart. And then these are lining up with what the profit wave is on the Simple Market Metrics chart. And then again, we're using a fixed target and stop. So that's what it's tuned for. And it only calculates on bar close. And these, you're not going to change any of these colors. That's when you're going to see the stuff on the top left. And as you see, this one has different categories for opening drive. And we're using a larger session, almost a full 90, around a full 90 minutes. So these settings are different. Minimum score is set at 70, but since now we're using a dynamic or an adaptive within our dynamic stop and target engine, we're using the adaptive portion of it. So each trade, it's not even within a specific narrow range of a target and stop. So it will reject trades. So we have to lower that score, or else too many are just going to get rejected, because this, like, a filter is already on there, and this is adding another layer, another filter. And so again, that one has 5 other categories. Some are the same, some are different. And then trend trailer. This is continuation trades. This has split scores on it. So you have minimum score, early, late. The early session, just because of all the volatility. So the filter is set higher than later. But even this, we're using the adaptive stop and target. So that's already rejecting trades. So we're going to have to lower these, still test them out. But for someone who doesn't want, if they just want to keep it dynamic within a small range versus adaptive, because a trade, you could be going for 8 points versus 30 points. So if you don't want that kind of like that wide margin, that's where the score filter is going to be more important. See, it has all these other things built into it, specifically tuned for that trade setup. And then it has other things, like the stop geometry. We want to make sure, that it's a good continuation trade. So those are the 3 different ones we have so far. Every one of them is designed for its own thing. Say cancel. So nice and short. And so those other ones, they will calculate all of these during the session, but they will only give you a score if a trade setup is there. All right, thanks guys. Catch you on the next one.